Hello, my name is Gabriela Hernandez Lopez, and for my social concern video, I decided to focus on how poverty affects the students' overall lives. Poverty is described as a condition where people's basic needs for food, clothing, and shelter are not being met. According to the United States Census Bureau, in 2013, about 48.8 million people were under the poverty level. In California itself, more than 6 million people were under this same level as well. When we talk about the effects of poverty on the educational development of our students, it becomes an array of multiple aspects. For example, children who live in poverty, high poverty communities have different exposures, which include lack of access to public services and quality health care, poorly equipped schools, street violence, homelessness, and drug racketeering. These factors significantly influence each child's quality of life, school achievement, high school graduation, and the ability to have the options after high school, for example, college graduation. Even though poverty does not necessarily determine the student's school failure or the emotional and behavioral problems, the conditions that this brings are detrimental enough to the cognitive and social development of these students. I've decided to ask different members of my local elementary school on how poverty affects the development of our students, not only inside of school, but outside as well. The following clips are going to be, the first one is a parent of one of our students, and this is what she has to say.
My name is Benita Cortez, and I think poverty affects education, especially in the kids, because the parents don't have the time to help the kids at school or with the schoolwork. Like, they have to have two jobs to be able to barely go on with their living expenses. Rent is too high, and food, and then plus the clothing for the kids, so they have to have two jobs. And by the time they get home, they're tired or the kids are already sleeping. So the kids are basically growing without that much of supervision and much less any help from their parents with the homework. So it just affects the whole family overall.
The next video is going to be of one of our preschool teachers.
My name is Rosa Torres, and I'm the afternoon preschool teacher here at Libby Elementary in Oceanside, California. How does poverty affect my students, specifically academically? With my students, I have to include socially and emotionally, how it affects them as well in that area. My children come from big families. They are families that live with other families and not necessarily their own families. So there is a lot of stress already built in when these children come to preschool. Many parents are either two full-day working parents or a single parent working multiple jobs. So there's the stress that the parent is carrying, bringing to the home, unable to give of themselves as much as they may want to or even at all to help their children come along academically, just reviewing the things that we do in the classroom, but socially, emotionally, they're not there completely wholly for the children. And so the children come to school with a void that unfortunately at 3 and 4 year olds, they're already stressing where their meal will come, when their parents will come home. They can't speak the language. So there's a lot of variables in play, and this is at the beginning of their academical journey through their lives.
The next clip is our principal, Mr. Mora, and this is what he has to say.
Hello, I'm Cesar Mora, principal at Libby Elementary here in Oceanside.
How does poverty affect your students from your own point of view as a principal?
I think that poverty affects our students in many ways. One way is definitely the academic piece. Students are coming to school without the skills and the knowledge base as far as the academics is concerned. Very difficult for them to concentrate or to get that information before they come, whether it's a preschool program, a kinder program, or a transitional kinder, because the resources are not available at home. Parents oftentimes have to work 1, 2, oftentimes 3 jobs to provide for their family, then in turn neglect the educational piece of the student, leaving the school as the primary educator. It's very difficult because it's a huge obstacle that we have to encounter, knowing that they are coming to school without the, like I said, the knowledge base, and in turn the lack of reading skills, literacy, writing, and the support. We see ourselves providing other services, like for example the counseling piece, making sure that we are providing the nutritional support for the kids. Just to give an example, this summer we will be providing a summer school program for the kids that are selected, and it's more of a remedial program in where we will be identifying kids that are need that extra support. And if we correlate the support, or we identify the kids that are in need of that, and we look at the poverty baseline for them, it'll be like an equal match. With that, we will be providing them with food in the morning, breakfast and lunch, and all the other opportunities that oftentimes they don't get. So yeah, it is a struggle, but that's something that we as a school need to consider for us to educate our kids.
Even though they all have different roles playing in the school setting and outside of our school setting, most of them agree on the same thing. Parents who come from low socioeconomic status have or tend to be less academically involved with their children's education. Many times this is due to their own academic level or the multiple jobs they have to have in order for them to support their family. As a school trying to bridge the gap in academic access and progress for students living in poverty, it is essential to understand where the students come from. Educators must be aware of the diverse setting in which their students may be coming from and how this diversity creates for the students a unique outlook on their education and ability to succeed. Sometimes it seems that we're just focusing on the students being able to at least achieve a high school diploma without really going or looking what's ahead of that. We already know that low socioeconomic status will play a negative role in the students' efforts to gain more academic access and have a level playing field. As a result, it is important for educators to utilize a system that embraces the students' diversity and supports them in their quest for post-secondary degree or success. Some schools are able to provide different programs such as GATE or AVID, after-school tutoring, academic summer programs, parenting workshops, to foster the need for these low socioeconomic status students to academically improve and succeed. Schools are offer also free and reduced meal programs that help alleviate the stress many of the students have because they have no idea where the next meal will be coming at home. It is essential to understand that the school is very influential in bridging the gap in education that poverty creates. Students need to be able to believe that even though their socioeconomic status can affect many of the aspects in their life, they're still able to succeed and look ahead towards a bright future. Schools and educators in general need to understand the situations that their students are going through in order to create those plans and opportunities that otherwise these kids will not have without them. Thank you.